Hi, this is Mr. Evans. You're receiving this video because I have your child in Algebra 1 and I wanted to make a welcome video. This is pretty much a lot of the material I would cover on a back to school night, but I thought this would be informational as far as to help you so you don't have to read through a bunch of paper. You can just watch a video. I can sort of explain the process of our class. A little bit about myself. This is year 19 for me, teaching in Prince William County. My third year at Patriot. I've taught Algebra 1. I can't even count how many years. Kids in my class have been very, very successful because I'm a very straightforward teacher. What you see is what you get, no tricks. We're trying to have every kid do well in algebra and math class, and obviously at the end of the year, they will take a Algebra 1 SOL, and our goal is for them to all pass that with flying colors. So I just want to cover some general things. Here's my email. evansdj@pwcs.edu. I wanted to make sure to go over that. I wanted to hit on a couple things. I don't want to go through the whole syllabus that's available for you on Canvas if you want to get into finer detail. All right, the big thing I want to hit on a couple things is students bring in their device every day. That's a laptop, iPad, tablet, Chromebook, phone, whatever they're choosing to use. All right, it will be very important for Algebra 1 because we will do something on that device every day. I do have some available iPads, but if everyone brings theirs, if the occasional one runs out of battery or the occasional one is forgotten, we have enough to get to all students. So all students are expected to bring their device. If you need a device issued by the school, please contact the front office and they can direct you to getting a device. Okay, the second thing is calculators. Okay, all right, in Algebra 1, all right, students get access to the Desmos calculator. Okay, the Desmos calculator is available through Canvas. Let me go to the student view so you guys can see. Okay, so it is available right here. If you click that button, it goes to the Desmos graphing calculator, which they have access to on their phones, on their tablets, all their devices. Okay, the other calculator that I will predominantly use is a Casio. Okay. These versions of 9750 G2 are really good. Okay, if you want to buy one, you can. It is not required for you to buy one. Okay, but this would help you if you want to have a handheld calculator. This will be the one also that I will demonstrate off of. Okay, on the Canvas modules, there is a download for the emulator. Okay, so if you click that, okay, and download. If you have a PC, okay, or a laptop, you can get a little calculator that can run to that. So that's two things you can do. If you want to use a TI, you can. My predominant instruction will be off of Casio, but mostly the predominant one will be off of Desmos. Okay, so Desmos for Algebra 1, most important. Okay, all right, so it talks about calculators. Let's talk about the modules and how class is laid out. All right, there's some great things that happened last year virtually as far as teachers being able to have content for students. Okay. If you go into Canvas and launch your modules, okay, you click on modules, it will bring you, okay, to the Unit 1 module, okay. Now, it has a calendar of what we're going to cover, okay, all right, has basically the day's classes. Now, I will be teaching, all right, normally like anybody would at the front of the room, okay. That's how we teach. I teach a little bit. The kids do some problems. I teach some more. They do some more problems. I teach some more. They do some more problems. That's how the general format works. Okay? All right? But what I have done is every lesson is pre-recorded. Okay? So if you click on the video lessons, okay? All right? These lessons are right in Canvas, and you can just click in there, and you can watch the lesson. Okay? This is the material we'll be going over during class. Okay? Now, the common question I get is this a flipped classroom? Okay, where students are expected to watch these videos and learn. It is not a flipped classroom. Those videos are for a couple purposes. Number one, if a student is having a hard time, okay, with the material, it becomes another way for them to learn. Okay, all right, because they can rewind and go back. The second thing is if a child or a student is out sick, okay, or quarantined for whatever reason, okay, those lessons are available for them. Okay. Also for those students that need notes, the notes we're going to do in class have already been uploaded, okay? And these aren't guided notes. These are just notes that we covered during class, okay, for students, all right? So if they need to access those are available. So that's the modules. The other thing that's in the modules, if you would like, there are some review of the chapter, a packet and a video, okay? Do students have to watch all these? Are they required to watch those, do the videos? No. Or do the review? No, they're not, okay? These are extra supplemental things, okay, that can help you in your learning depending on where you're at, okay? All right? So that's sort of how the modules work. So if you're ever absent, okay, you can access that material. The Zoom, I believe, is also available. We'll have to see if that actually does end up working, all right, and how I can patch that into class if a student would like to follow class if they're homesick or quarantined, okay? All right. The next thing I'd like to cover is the assessments, all right, formative and summative, okay? Formative assessments make up 20% of a student's grade, okay? Let me explain formative assessments, okay? We use a program called Go Formative, okay? All right, Go Formative. And I'll click that, okay? There should be a link, all right? Open a new tab, okay? Go Formative, okay? I don't know if this will open. Pull that up for you. Okay, let's do Algebra 1. Okay, so each student receives an account for Go Formative. We set these accounts up already in school on their first day that they're in class, okay? Now, what Go Formative will be used for is students can do their classwork problems in Go Formative. So when I say, hey, you can practice, the answers to the practice questions go into Go Formative. What is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is students will receive a grade based on the completion of their classwork problems, okay? So let's say there's 10 total classwork problems in a day. Student does 8 of those problems. They get an 80%, okay? The second question is, well, what if they do 10 out of 10? They get 100%. But what if they missed questions? They got questions incorrect. That's okay. They still will receive a grade of 100. Obviously, I will walk around, and if they missed that question, I'll say, hey, redo this, or do you need help? And students will get help on those. The bottom line is this helps students be accountable to the work that's in class. This will be their formative grade. So every day, students will get a formative grade of some type, okay? And that will show you as the parent, what did they do during class? Now, if a student, let's say they get 8 of 10 done in class, they didn't finish 2 more. Well, their homework then is to finish the classwork, okay? All these classwork questions are graded by me as far as helping them with right or wrong. But the big thing we're looking for is completion, okay, and students working on that work. So that is 20% of the grade. It's formative. Summatives represent 80% of the grade. Now, a little bit different, okay? Unless you are if you're in one of the classes that meets every other day, okay, which is, you meet only on even days, okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say this was a Tuesday and a Thursday, okay? So what we do in class is we do day 1 classwork, okay? All right? Okay? Then what happens is the next time students come in, they will take a summative on that day 1 classwork, okay? So they will have similar questions that they will complete in class. These summatives are somewhere between 3 and 8 questions long, okay? Students receive a grade. So instead of having a big unit test, okay, let's say Unit 1, okay? Unit 1, let's say there are summative A, okay? Summative B, summative C, and summative E. Sorry, summative D. Okay? Students will receive a grade for all of those summatives. Let's say they got a 90, let's say they got a 78, let's say they got a 64, and let's say they got a 100. Okay? Those total up basically a full unit. So instead of taking a big unit test, it's chunked into parts. Now, a couple questions that parents will ask following this. Mr. Evans, well, what if they just didn't do well that day? We'll get into the retake component a little bit later, okay, in a second. All right, the second question I get is, well, what if they miss? What do they do if they miss the test? Or miss the summative, sorry. If they miss the summative, they can come in and do that the next time they're in class, okay? All right, they can do that stuff in class. If they miss the material is online, okay? The material they can be working on at home, okay? All right, they can make up those summatives as they come in. All right, I'm not overly concerned with that. As long as they complete them before the end of the unit. If they don't complete them before the end of the unit, okay, they will receive a 0 for them. Okay, now and I'm going to get to the retake portion. They receive a 0 or they didn't do well. Let's take this example. Let's say this student really wanted an A and wanted to improve their 2 grades here. Then what I would do is basically, let's say that took 4 days to get through. Day 5, we would review all of the summatives that were given, okay? So students can see what they missed, all right? Answer any questions, provide any additional practice if necessary. The next day they come into class, they can do a retake on anything that they got a 0 on or anything they want to improve their grade on. So for instance, let's say they did a retake, okay? And now they got an 86, and let's say they got a 91, okay? What I would do then is I would then replace those 2 low summative grades, okay, with an 86 and a 91, okay? Next common question. What if on the retake they don't do as well? Well, I'm never going to lower a summative grade, okay? So the idea is, okay, that's how students can do retakes. Now, in order to do a retake, they have to do corrections, okay? Corrections on the summative that they're wishing to retake. So they don't have to retake A and D if they only did bad on B and C, okay? That's the way these retakes work. The retakes also are 3 to 8 questions. So it covers the same types of material, okay? So retakes need corrections, okay? I'm going to put that here. Need corrections off of whatever they're retaking, okay? And then they can retake it, all right? Students did really well with this last year, even virtually, okay? All right, it ends up being not big tests, or big summatives, excuse me. Does not end up being big summatives. It's smaller parts, and students have an opportunity to more focus on the things that they're not doing well in, okay? And all this stuff will be labeled in the grade book so you can follow it, and I will make the announcements on Canvas as well. Getting on to the last thing, office hours, okay? I'm available before school, all right, or after school by appointment. So if you know you want to come in, please reach out to me so that I make sure that I am here, that I'm not in a meeting, or I have family too, and sometimes there are family emergencies that come up. I don't want you guys to be coordinating carpool lines, and I'm not going to be available. So please, if you're not available, if you are going to do an office hours, which I'm available Monday through Thursday, before school or after school to do those, get that additional help, or to do additional retakes if you need to do additional stuff. I am available during that time. Please reach out to me prior to, just so you don't come to after school stuff and I am not there for some reason, okay? So that's pretty much it. If you have any follow-up questions, please email me. But students have had a lot of success using these models here, and I think we're gonna have a great school year.